If you're one of those people feeling a little post-election withdrawal, like myself and my daughter, that is, there's another interesting race brewing on the horizon, the race for the mayor of Waterbury. While the election isn't until '09, this one most likely will pit Democrats against Democrats.
I'm 27 years old.
He came into politics at a very young age, but J. Paul Vance Jr. then thought his inexperience as a newly elected city alderman did him good.
Experience has gotten us a super high tax rate and 2 mayors going to jail. And so if that's experience, I don't want any part of it.
Now at the age of 34, Vance has his eyes on bigger sights in Waterbury politics. He wants to be mayor, even if that means challenging longtime Mayor Mike Jarjura in a Democratic primary. Jarjura, who has been mayor of the Brass City since 2002, has faced some difficult challenges before, including one where he beat the odds and won as a write-in candidate. And while the mayor hasn't officially announced he's running again, for all intensive purposes, he tells me today, essentially, you can count him in too. There you have it. And here now to talk more about why he's running for the mayor of Waterbury is Alderman Mr. J. Paul Vance Jr., not to be confused, of course, with his father, who is also a familiar face to our viewers at Fox 6U. And you want to tell them real quickly, because everyone asked you. They just asked you in the studio.
Yeah, the celebrity.
Your dad's a celebrity. He is the spokesman for Connecticut Police.
He is.
And I discovered him, actually, years ago.
You made him.
Yes,
That's
I discovered him when he was just a resident trooper out in Prospect. But anyhow, moving on to your career. Seriously here, I talked to Mayor Jarjura, and he says, listen, times are good. He says the budget is balanced. The city had a $4 million surplus fiscal year ending end of June. And he is predicting that things are on par, despite the fact that Governor Rell is saying that the state faces a $6 billion deficit over the next 2 years. So he's saying things are good. Why now do you feel as if Mayor Jarjura shouldn't have another chance at being mayor, and why you should?
Things are good. I chaired the budget subcommittee actually for the last 8 years, so I'm proud of the budget as well, and the mayor and I have worked together. But there comes a time where we can't run in place. I mean, balancing the budget has to be the basic thing that you do when you get out of bed in the morning. It's no different than you balancing your checkbook. So what we need to do is start recruiting business, talking to business. When our #1 employer is the city of Waterbury, we're not doing a good enough job of maintaining and attracting jobs to Waterbury.
So you're saying your #1 priority would be to bring more jobs into the city?
And we also have to reduce spending. I mean, when we see cautionary tales on TV in Hartford and Bridgeport, it's really scary. It's a scary environment. And when we see Governor Rell talking about bad times are coming, well, we need to make adjustments.
Well, John Rowland actually has a job with the city of Waterbury where he's the spokesman. Would you keep him on in that post as mayor?
I don't know. I don't think. I think first I have to get elected. So I'm not going to start.
You're sounding like a politician there,
though. A little bit, yeah. I'm not going to. Someone actually asked me if my father was going to be my chief of staff. Well, I think right now he has a job, and I think what I'd like to do is go out to the taxpayers and talk to them about hiring me to be their mayor before I decide to hire and fire people.
But you've been critical of Rowland, and in Waterbury, where he has a lot of pull, that's been tough. It's hard to go up a political machine of that stature.
You know what? I'm going to do what every politician should do, is take it to the voters. I think Governor Rowland has his challenges, and you know, if he succeeds, then Waterbury succeeds. So I'm not going to be critical of him in that position, because quite honestly, we're pulling in the same direction.
Here's what Mayor Jarjura had to say about whether or not he will run. Let's go to the first graphic here. And he says, I probably will be announcing after the holidays. I think it's very premature to think about election mode. People want to enjoy Christmas and New Year's, but I have every intention to continue on my responsibilities here. I think I've earned it. No one can present to me an argument as to why Mayor Jarjura shouldn't carry on. Would you like to present an argument?
There's going to be plenty of time to debate that. Right now, I'm the only candidate that's filed my papers, and I know Mayor Jarjura has done a good job, but we need to talk about the future. It's not enough to say we've balanced the budget, because that's a team effort. We've had an oversight board, as you remember, in Waterbury. They had a lot to do with balancing our budget. And there's members of the Board of Aldermen, including myself, who's chaired the budget subcommittee. We have a lot to do with it.
If you had to give one reason why Jarjura shouldn't be reelected, what would it be?
What we need is somebody that's going to focus from at least 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I'm a lawyer right now in my private life. The mayor needs to be in his office focusing 100% of his energies on Waterbury. And I think that over the last several years, the last 2 elections, in fact, he said he was done. I'm not running again. So, you know, I'm applying for the job and taking it to the taxpayer.
So you're saying, would you give up your job as an attorney?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And you would work. So are you saying that Judge Ura only works 9 to 5?
I hope he works 9 to 5, but I think.
You're saying you don't even think he works 9 to 5? This is getting interesting.
Yeah, I would say that what we need to do is focus on the next several years. It's not enough to point to the last few years and say we balanced the budget.
You're being very nice, because I'm going to go on now to what Mayor Judge Ura had to say about you, and I'm going to let you respond.
That's
okay? He said this. He said, J. Paul Vance and I have been serving together for the last 7 years. He is a very smart young man. I just don't think he has developed the maturity to assume the duties of mayor. He likes to pander to every constituency out there. As mayor, you have to make some critical decisions. He likes to be liked by everybody, and this isn't a popularity contest.
I would agree it's not a popularity contest, but I would say that the mayor also has those same problems, that he likes to pander to each group. I can't point to too many difficult decisions that he's made without the oversight board or the Board of Aldermen making it for him. So what I can only say is that any job in politics, be it a higher job in the mayor's office or the mayor itself, is a temporary job. And every 2 years, you shouldn't take it as an affront if other people think they can do a better job.
All right, so we've talked enough about Mayor Judge Ura, but again, he is the incumbent, so I want to give him some time. But if you want to quickly tell me about what are some of the other big issues at your platform that are really fueling your fire to win here?
Yeah, well, the first and most important thing, you talk about maturity. I had 8 guys in my wedding party. 8 of them lived in Waterbury, grew up in Waterbury, went to Waterbury schools, had their first jobs, and came home to Waterbury. I'm the only one that still lives in Waterbury. Now, the mayor hasn't had to have a middle-class family background. He comes from quite a bit of money. I am one of the few middle-class aldermen who wants to stay, who has a young family, and a big announcement now, my wife is expecting. So
well,
it's important to me, as somebody that grew up in Waterbury, to have the next generation have a place to come home to, have a good quality of life, have open space and clean parks and streets, and have a place to work. We just don't have enough of that.
Yeah, urban decay is a big problem in every city.
It absolutely is.
So you're saying Judge Ura is out of touch because he is wealthy and he doesn't really know what it's like in the trenches, so to speak, with the middle class folks like that?
I'd say he has different challenges. He's a business owner and he's a developer. I say that I come from a different background than he does, a middle class, working class family, and we have to struggle to make it in Waterbury. There are no jobs coming to Waterbury. What we need to do is go outside, offer more tax incentives. The Board of Aldermen actually has driven tax incentive programs over the last 2 years. So these are the things, we can talk about maturity level, but the proof is going to be in the pudding.
But it's tough going out against an incumbent who's been in office since 2002 to raise money against him, and the political machine in Waterbury is brutal at times.
It is, but you know what? I look forward to the race. I look forward to talking to him about debates. I mean, talking about who has more money or who has the maturity level. Let's talk about issues. He's a smart enough man to be able to debate me on issues.
All right. Well, we are offering you an invite right here on The Real Story for Mayor Judge Ura and yourself.
I look forward to it.
All right. And real quickly, congrats to you and your wife.
Yeah,
Michelle,
we're very excited.
When are you expecting?
Not until May. Not until May. We have
May's
some time.
a good time. Hopefully a nice tourist baby like myself.
It's going to be unbelievable.
May?
We're really looking forward to it.
That is great. Wow. Congratulations. Being a parent is the best thing ever.
You know, that's the most important thing I have to look forward to next year.
Excellent. Thank you. Congratulations to you, and thanks for spending some time with us.
Thanks, Shelley.
All right.